Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're diving into some serious global news. The US just carried out major airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, and the Middle East is heating up. Let's break down what's going on, why it's happening, and what it could mean next. Buckle up and let's get into it. So, this video is going to be talking about the news, everything related to the US kind of bombing Iran, and what's really next to come. And we're also going to relate it to the stock market, explain what moves to make, some plays to make, and some stocks to watch overall. So it's going to be kind of 50-50, but I'll include the stock stuff towards the end, and we're going to talk about the news first. So let's get into it. So last night, June 1st, 2025, President Trump announced that the US forces hit 3 key Iranian nuclear sites. Not even going to try to pronounce that, but it's 3 nuclear sites. These strikes were aimed at crippling Iran's nuclear program, with Trump claiming the sites were totally obliterated. The US used B-2 stealth bombers and massive bunker busters bombs, including the GBU-57 designed to destroy deeply buried facilities like Fordo or Fordow. I don't know how to pronounce that. Don't butcher me in the comments. But which sits 300 feet under a mountain. Trump called this a spectacular military success and said the goal was to stop Iran from ever getting a nuclear weapon. He warned Iran that more strikes could come if they choose to retaliate and or continue the program. But here's the thing, Iran's not staying quiet. Their foreign minister called the strikes outrageous and said Iran reserves all options to respond to this. Iran confirmed the attacks but said their nuclear program is still intact. So after each strike, honestly, it kind of just postpones their nuclear program for like a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months, but it doesn't postpone it forever. Honestly, unless you kill the scientists or something like that, getting a little vague, or you destroy everything and they have to restart from scratch, which could take them years to do. But they also confirmed that there is no major damages to the residents near the sites, which is good. The UN's nuclear watchdog reported no radioactive contamination, which is one worry that we personally had before bombing anything like this, which is a relief. But tensions are sky high. Iran even suggested they could pull out of the nuclear program treaty, which would be a massive deal. Now, the strike didn't just come out of nowhere. For over a week, Israel's been hitting Iran hard, targeting nuclear sites and military bases. On June 13th, Israel launched major airstrikes, saying they wanted to stop Iran's nuclear ambitions. Iran fired back with over 100 drones and missiles, some hitting Tel Aviv. The US jumping in with its own strikes marks a huge escalation, tying America directly to this conflict now. So you may be wondering, why now? So Trump's been vocal about never letting Iran get a nuke. He pulled out of the 2018 nuclear deal, and after failed diplomatic talks, seemed to have gone all in with military action. Israel, a close US ally, was fully coordinated with these strikes, but not everyone's on board. Some Democrats, like Rep. Jim Himes, slammed Trump for not getting congressional approval, calling it unconstitutional. Meanwhile, Republicans like Senator Ted Cruz are cheering it on. So what's next, you may be wondering? Iran did indeed promise retaliation, and they got proxies like Hezbollah and Houthis who could target US bases or allies. A commenter on Iran's state TV even called every US citizen and soldier in the region a legitimate target. So keep that in mind. Hopefully you guys don't have any family members out there that's a US citizen, because they are now called a target. The UN's calling for de-escalation, warning this could spiral into a wider war with catastrophic consequences. So this is a tense moment, no doubt. The US, Iran, and Israel are at crossroads, and the world's watching. Will this lead to peace talks or a bigger conflict? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button and bell notification. I make daily videos like this all the time. Let's get to 500 subs and let's get into some stocks to watch. For anyone that's trying to take their trading to the next level, made a website with a bunch of courses that you guys can check out. First link in the description below. Check it out if you guys want to up your knowledge on the stock market. Relatively cheap courses, and we have sales going on. So check them out while the sales is still happening. I'm also coming out with daily blogs to update you guys with the stock market before I even make these videos. So if you guys want early news, early stock plays, and things to watch, check out the site as well. This is completely free. Just go into the website, go into Creator's Blog. You guys can check it out if you guys want. So before we get into some major stocks to watch and what everybody's trading, I just want to say I'm not really for or against this war. I'm in between. I'm just making videos on how you can benefit off of it. It's a bad time. It shouldn't happen, but life still goes on. I mean, unless we all get nuked, of course, which is kind of bad. But with that being said, life still goes on. Still got to make our money. Some of you guys probably pay bills with your stock money. So this is mainly for that. So this segment of the video is going to be related to the stock market and how it's really going to be moving it. So first one is going to be ExxonMobil. If we look at crude prices, I mean, we can't look at it right now because of the weekend, of course, but it is probably going to spike to the upside. So ExxonMobil, especially if something else bigger breaks out, you can play this to the upside. But with that being said, maybe Iran is like, okay, I don't really want to mess with the US, and tension starts sliding down a little bit. We're not really fighting a bigger war with this. Maybe it's just still Iran and Israel fighting back and forth, and or we get peace talks. You can see oil to the downside and play some put options, which basically you're saying that the stock is going to go down. So you can play call options if the war escalates, and put options if it honestly de-escalates. Next one's gonna be RTX, basically a wartime stock as well. And this one you can play up or down depending on where the war goes. Same thing with CrowdStrike Holdings, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is big, especially we've seen Iran. They're basically blacked out for a little bit. So honestly, watch CrowdStrike in general because cyber attacks is going to happen in this war, especially if US gets involved. It's going to be a big one to watch. Next one is going to be GLD. Safe haven is gold, and a lot of bigger people are buying gold right now, and a lot of big firms are buying it, and we see a lot of retailers getting into it as well. So if gold does start spiking because of this, you play GLD to the upside. And then if we get some de-escalation, you could play GLD to the downside because people might start selling out of those safe havens and going back into tech. Speaking of tech and stuff like that, the SPX, or you could trade the SPY. We're just gonna be looking at the SPX overall. It is said to have went down 1% already, but the stock market isn't fully open, so we can't see it for sure. But we're probably going to see a big drop, especially with this. But if we don't get anything like new, we might start rallying back up. We kind of been seeing this a lot where we have a big sell off, little bit of a rally, another sell off, and a rally, and kind of the same thing, sell off and a big bit of a rally. So you could probably play it to the upside and to the downside, just depending on what the aftermath of all of this is going to look like. So watch like tech stocks like Nvidia, Apple, SPY, stuff like that. But be careful with Nvidia because they just got some bad news as well. And last but not least, is going to be Palantir. Palantir can benefit both ways. It can benefit in wartime, especially if US gets involved. Palantir is a big, the US government is a big customer of Palantir, and they're going to benefit more during wartime, probably up their budget a little bit and stuff like that. And even Palantir rallies when tech stocks rally as well. So you have best of both worlds. If we get good or bad news, Palantir can move both ways. So keep that in mind for these stocks overall. Be careful trading. Stay updated with the news. I'm going to be coming out with shorts and stuff like that to update you guys throughout the days. And honestly, just good luck trading. Let me know what tickers you guys are trading, and let me know how you guys feel about this war overall. Honestly, the US involvement happened faster than I thought. Honestly, I thought maybe Iran was going to target a base or something first and then we get involved, but I wasn't expecting for us to make the first move either. And even this weekend, I wasn't really expecting it to be this weekend. He gave the little 2 week hold, but then now, man, they striked, which is insane. But with that being said, thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Let's get to 500 subs, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Check out the site below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.